What is going on, everybody? So, pretty much, this is going to be like the first video on like who the Clippers should draft in 2022. And this is just basically like kind of like a future, like, it's kind of like a prospect type scouting video. And this is one of the person who I just recently found out of, like, even like just within like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I kind of looked at his profile, and it looks pretty amazing, and I think he would fit perfectly with the Clippers. Like in this year's draft, like I think like it has like a lot of like players that could definitely like help help the team like the Clippers a lot. Like people gonna be talking about like let's just like trade for Rudy Gobert and all that, which is that's cool, I guess, but like I believe the Clippers like should like not underestimate the NBA prospects. Like they should be more willing to, like mine some gems from this draft class, because this draft class has a lot of power forwards and centers, and that would definitely help the team like the Clippers, because the Clippers could use a younger power forward who's more agile, or like a center that could grab some rebounds and all that. Like that's definitely like what the Clippers could use, and like, but yeah, like instead of just giving up a lot of giving up some depth for like a proven piece, like just just I would just simply go for just like just get some prospects from the NBA draft, because like just because like they're young and all that doesn't mean that they're young and unproven, doesn't mean that they're not going to do anything with the Clippers roster, because like I believe like a decent amount of these prospects like could definitely help the Clippers a lot. Um, like what was I about to say? Like this draft class does not have like it's not like as loaded compared to other drafts. Like doesn't have like all the insane superstars and all of that, but um, like it's like but it's like a draft class that could definitely I could see help the Clippers. Like it has like more like a lot of glue guys type player in an NBA draft. But this is like my first video, like scouting video. So first of all, just meet Dominic Barlow. So this guy, he plays for like the overtime team, and essentially let's just get to his information. So basically, he's a power forward, so he'd be perfect for the Clippers. He's 6'9", like some say he's 6'10", which is he's pretty tall. He weighs 215 pounds, which is like he is like more on the lighter side. So like if he could get his weight up, it'd be good. Um, but basically he has a lot of stuff that the Clippers could use. So basically he's a power forward, right? So he's a very versatile player that plays both ends on the floor, who plays pretty good defense, like on both sides of the end, and it shows that he's a very versatile player. Like he could guard like point guards, and next thing you know, he could kind of guard like centers to a certain extent if they're not that strong and big. And he's a solid like 3-point shooter as well too. Like he's like he could definitely knock down open threes. Like he may not be able to like create a shot yet, but like he's a pretty good good 3-point shooter. Like he's the type of guy who would be a really good glue guy, and he is a very athletic player too. Like you'll see through from the clips, and he has a lot of versatility, and he'd be perfect for this Clipper team. Like I know like him and Yannick Nazoza are like my personal like must grabs like type of players for this NBA draft. And the best part about this dude is he it's actually pretty realistic that we could grab this guy. Like I'll show you like a little bit later, but so basically he just kind of like declared for this draft class like this guy like he's gonna kind of rise, so it's gonna take like something. We're gonna have to like consolidate some one of our players, which is shouldn't be too difficult. But for now he's projected to be like what like the 41st pick. But like from what I've kind of like from my instincts that kind of told me, like I think he's probably gonna rise like he could potentially rise to like a first round pick. Like let's just say like to a team like let's just say the Miami Heat, right? So let's just say if he rises up pretty high, like goes all the way up to the Miami Heat. So we could just easily just trade like Marcus Morris for like a late first round pick. Like because the Clippers are considering to move Marcus Morris. So like if the Clippers trade, and I did like in my last video say like if the Clippers were want to trade Marcus Morris, I believe trading Marcus Morris for a late first round pick would be perfect for the Clippers because like there's a lot of good power forwards that I mentioned in that video, and especially in this video, because this guy, he'd be really good. Just imagine if this guy was playing for the Clippers, like especially when we played a team like the Pelicans, he'd be perfect against guarding guys like Brandon Ingram or like yeah, definitely like Brandon Ingram or any like really big guards who could score pretty good. Like he could, I guess, would be pretty good on guarding guys like Luka, and also pretty good part about this guy is he could guard like in an interior in a way. So basically like, or honestly like the Clippers could get this guy like as cheap as just trading like Amir Coffey to like a team like maybe the Portland Trail Blazers because like this guy could either be like a late first round pick or a like or early second round pick. So you could just instead of just having to give Marcus Morris, you could just throw in like as cheap as Amir Coffey and Rodney Hood, and you could easily just get like an early second round pick because Amir Coffey trade value he dramatically rises a lot, and Barlow he'd be a perfect grab, and then with our own draft pick we take Yannick Nzosa, which is he's projected to be around in their 50s pick, and yet he's declaring for this draft. So imagine Dominic Barlow and Yannick Nzosa on this Clippers team, which who Nzosa, I might try to do a little scouting report, but um, shout out to the homie Clip Gang and Don't Bang. He made his own video on Yannick Nzosa, and I think he nailed it, and I believe you should watch it, and I'll show you this. I'll show you that video towards the end of my personal video. So basically, just a brief on who the Clippers projected us to take. So it's this dude. He's a shooting guard. Do not take him. Clippers, do not take a shooting guard or a small forward unless if a small forward could kind of play a power forward. But do not take a shooting guard, please. Don't take a shooting guard because we have so many shooting guards. We have Kennard, we have PG, we have Kawhi, we got Jay Scrub, we got Brandon Boston. And don't take a wing for the same reason. And I wouldn't want the Clippers to take a point guard either in this NBA draft, unless if it's a guy like Gene Montero, because Gene Montero, I kind of like mess with his game a bit, and he's kind of like a younger player, he, so I guess I could give the Clippers a pass if they somehow like take like Gene Montero, but I wouldn't really want the Clippers to get a point guard either because I would want to wait for the year of 2023 when the Clippers ultimately decides our point guard. Because just please, for your homework tonight, Clipper Nation or the Clippers fans watching this video, look at the 2023 NBA mock draft. There is tremendous amount of good point guards that is projected to be a late first rounder because we have a late first round pick in 2023, and there is tremendous good amount of point guards that I see that could be a pretty good franchise player, like for guys like Amen Thompson, Sky Clark, Dior Johnson, Jay-Z, and Gordon. And you know what? Like, so yeah. So for now, as a point guard, what the Clippers should do for the point guard is just snag a guy like Gary Payton or John Wall. Like, simple as that. Like, don't do anything too crazy about getting point guard. But that's just me off topic, and I think I might just make a video just dedicated to that. But anyways, so let's get back on topic. So yeah, so basically, Barlow he's projected to be 41st, but I could see this guy dramatically rising as soon as high as let's just say the 20s. So yeah, so basically if you want to get him just worst case scenario, just trade Marcus Morris for like to either the Heat, the Nets, or the Bucks, and you could easily just land Dominic Barlow because Barlow, that guy would be pretty good for the Clippers squad. So I'm gonna just dive into some clips that I kind of found to just give you an insight on how good of a player he would fit on this beautiful Clippers team. So this is just like his little like kind of like a drill warm up game. So like I know it's kind of petty, but it shows his really good athleticism. So a 6'9" player, right? A 6 foot. Or sorry about that. So think about it. A 6'9", 6'10" player. He's jumping like this. Bam. That is just pretty insane, bro. Like that is not grown on trees, bro. That is not grown on trees. Like a guy who is his size and who jumps like that high, like that is like a pretty great start from from the base. But like more of these clips is just gonna impress you even better because this guy he also has a pretty good IQ too. Like he doesn't really have too much weaknesses either. Like I said, he'd be a perfect fit for the Clippers team. So this is his first clip. So this is just him just casually spot up shooting a three. So let me just break that down a little slowly. Just bam. Hold up. Okay. So pass. Boom. Three. Bam. Boom. That's so pretty much like a kind of like a high arc top 3 point shot. So like I cannot really find like his stats because OTE they don't really overtime they don't really record their stats. So like it's a little bit hard, but I mean, like I heard, like, I watched his little documentary type thing, and he is a pretty hard worker. Like, so his 3 points percentage is not gonna sound pretty. So he started off like around January as a 2020, as like a 22% as a 3 point shooting, which is that's actually pretty bad. But then it dramatically improved to like something like 33%. So that shows a lot. So that shows how much work he's been putting. Like he's like I said, he's more like his 3 point shooting is like more like an outs like a catch and shoot thing and not really like a shot creation. So he's pretty much like like to stand in a corner, just drain a wide open three. So his 3 point shooting is pretty promising and you can tell that form is, it can use some work, but it's pretty promising. So next clip. So this is I forgot what he's doing, but this is him just getting a nice rebound. And look, this is when the versatility shows. Cause look, watch that beautiful pass, like bam, that dom. So not only that he's just like a wing that could play really good defense and he can shoot like corner shots, but he also has pretty good playmaking abilities. Like he actually shown some capabilities of running the ball and kind of to a certain extent be like the point guard in a way. And yeah, you're gonna like his versatility, like I said. And right now, for now on, you're not gonna see too much of his defense, but towards the end of the clip, you're gonna see more of the defense. But that is just some nice playmaking ability he just did. And also, this is just a nice, beautiful catch and lob dunk. So like he'd be a really good, lob catch dunk guy as well too. And also that's just a nice take he just did. So yeah, so pretty much 2 for 1 in this clip. So yeah, like I said, he's very athletic. So like let's just say like um Reggie Jackson would just miss a shot and the ball would go to Barlow. Barlow could just jump and just slam it because he's also a pretty good rebounder too. Because this guy has the ultimate versatility in his bag. So he honestly like could play all positions. Like he could kind of like play the point guard because he could pass the ball pretty good. Shooting guard, he has a size to play the shooting guard because like um, his 3 point shooting it shows a lot of promise. Like he's like more like a spot up shooting type of guy, but shooting guard he probably wouldn't do the prettiest there, but he wouldn't be bad, I guess, if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. But small forward, he could be solid there. But power forward, he would go pretty well for that because like his versatility, like especially on the defense and his shooting would be pretty good as well too. Like he could play. He's like kind of like a Rocco in the role. Like he plays kind of like a Rocco type of guy. Like I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but because Rocco he plays great defense. He can shoot threes, has some good passing abilities. He has IQ. He has like everything you want in the glue guy. And Barlow from all these clips is gonna show all that. So next clip. So this is Barlow just getting a rebound and watch. Look at that Justin Herbert pass, bro. Just look at that. Like, see, that shows a lot for his playmaking already. Like, so if the Clippers even though if they really want to kind of get a point guard, so you could still go with Barlow because he has a lot of playmaking abilities. Because look, watch Barlow get that rebound. That's another thing that the Clippers could use is rebounding, and Barlow just brings the rebounding, and then watch, bam, that full court pass. That is just like a really good ingredient for a team like the Clippers because like he's showing a lot of things that he could do, just a lot of things. All right, and then last clip of this, just him getting a rebound and just putting it back up. Like another thing that the Clippers could use, rebounding, and this guy would be if we get this guy, if we get Dominic Barlow, he'd give us like a lot of second chance possessions because I mean more of the clips you'll see, but because he's a pretty big power forward, just get the boards, puts it back up, play make and don't forget he's very athletic. So another player that some Clippers fan I hear them want to talk about is getting John Collins. Well, Barlow could also be the John Collins type of guy because how big and athletic he is and how good he has everything in his bag. And plus, Barlow plays great defense, while John Collins, from what I heard, his defense is kind of suspect. But anyways, this is more of his defensive highlight that I managed to catch up. So, his Barlow, bam, that rejection, bro. And this is actually when he's in the paint too. Just bam, 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 boom, that block. Like, that'd be so great for the Clippers, I swear. Like, even Barlow is not like a traditional power center, which is I wouldn't consider Barlow as a center, but he shows a lot of abilities to protect the rim pretty well, and we definitely would want to have some good rim protection because a lot of players would score at the baskets when the Clippers would play against opponents, especially the Pelicans game. I'm telling you, if Dominic Barlow was on a team when he gets the minutes, he would have definitely helped us a lot, especially the Pelicans because teams they just score on us over the basket because our bigs they're kind of a little bit slower, they're not as much of a good athlete. But I'm not saying Barlow's big man, but think of him as a power forward and Nazoza is our center. That'd be tough to score on, bro. That'd be tough to score. Yeah, next clip. Next clip. Next clip. Oh. Oh yeah, this is his versatility on defense, how switchable he is. This is kind of a little long clip, so be prepared to bear with me, but this is Barlow over here. Just look at him. He's switching already in the pick and roll. Bam, bam. See, the number one guy has to pass the ball now because of a good defender Barlow was. So bam, and keep in mind, this guy's like this is a prime example of Barlow being able to play defense at all levels, like in the interior and on the outside. Like let's just say like a quicker guard, kind of like I'm trying to think like a generic like guard. Like let's just say someone like McCollum or Jalen Brunson or um who else tends to go off on us like just randomly. But I forgot. But basically like any like shooting guards or even point guards, like Barlow could defend those types of player. Like see, now he has to pass the ball. Like he forced a lot of like missed possessions. Like see, he forced a turnover right over here. And then bam, another play. Last play actually. So this is just him showing his athletic ability again and his interior defense. So bam, he just got a really, really like gorgeous block. So basically, that is all the clips that I'm able to show you, and I believe this is like good enough to like probably convince you on why we should definitely snag Dominic Barlow, and it's probably like it has to be like through a trade, unfortunately. So basically, two scenarios, like I said. I know I said in the beginning of the video, but just to sum it up, scenario number one, we could trade Marcus Morris to like a contending team for like a late first rounder. Bam, snag Barlow. Or actually, I honestly the street scenario. So scenario number two, trade Marcus Morris, but we trade him for like a second round pick, like a early second round pick, and we get Dominic Barlow, and we get a 2023 first round pick. So more draft capital to trade up to get a really good point guard in 2023, and a guy like Scott Clark or Amen Thompson or players like that. Or three, like if Barlow still like is projected like a little bit low, and if he's still available, you could also try to throw in. You could just be as cheap as just throwing Amir Coffey and Rodney Hood, and just bam, you get a second round pick, and the Clippers just essentially filled out like their weaknesses. Like, but yeah, like I said, this is like Dominic Barlow is just one of the guys that is a pretty good example on why the Clippers should, just like live off of crumbs and let all these other teams fight over the big pot, because those crumbs, they could be very valuable. Or my personal version of it is let all these other teams fight for the dollar bill while the Clippers dig through the dirt and find them diamonds, golds, silver, or anything. Cause and yep, and the and the and the digging underground is basically getting them boys from the NBA draft. Because this year NBA draft, next year NBA draft, and let's just say if the Clippers drafted pretty poorly in 2023, which is hopefully it won't happen, 2024, I guess. But you don't want to do that. But basically 2022, 2023, like is like the perfect like building block that the Clippers like could just start mining and just eventually become a long-term NBA dynasty. So if I had to give like a player comparison for Dominic Barlow over here, it's just so it could kind of like raise your eyebrows on why the Clippers should snag him. It'll be like multiple. So first of all, I would say Robert Covington, because his versatility on our defense, he could guard all five positions. He could play defense in the interior and play the defense in the exterior, and he can shoot threes. He has a good IQ, has good hustle, just an ideal player. And Rocco just brings that. Two, it could be a Jeremy Grant, because same thing, kind of like a Rocco. Nick Batum, like I feel like Nick Batum will be an accurate comparison like for Barlow, because like I said, guards 1 through 5 positions. His playmaking, the playmaking part is like the one that makes him is pretty like to Nick Batum, and also his shooting, because the way how Nick Batum and Barlow would score is spot up threes or getting inside the rack and just have like a simple putback. But except Barlow is like by far more athletic, and also Another like pretty good comparison is like Herb Jones because very athletic. Herb Jones a little smaller, but so Barlow's like a little bigger. But yeah, shows a lot of versatility, could guard multiple positions, all that, or certain extent like John Collins in a way because very athletic and all of that. So yeah, those are my player comparisons and also of course I'm gonna try to throw in like a weakness because I kind of want to be fair as possible. So his weakness would be his um like his thin frame, like he's more on the skinnier side of the spectrum. So he's like 215, which is he's like it'll be good for him to try to build out his frames. And two would be like kind of like his shot creation. Of course, like he's not one of those who could just have that saucy crossover and just during the shot. Like nah, he's more like the spot up type of guy, knows his role type of guy. So like that's that. And also his um like 3-point percentage, like it's not like the best, but he could definitely shoot threes. Like he definitely could be a pretty good spot up like 3-point shooter. But like from the percentage from what I heard, like last time, like it was like 22%, but then it improved a lot to like 33%. So and also don't forget Rocco did struggle with shooting threes when he was at the Blazers, but now when he joins the Clippers, he's a pretty good 3-point shooter. So that is that. So, but that's me being a little bit like kind of like a little nitpicky on his 3-point shooting because that guy could shoot, but like his percentage may not show it, but like if you watch him play, you could definitely see his 3-point shooting is pretty promising. And also a bonus part is like the best part about this guy is he's pretty young as well too. Like he's like what born on May 2003, so he doesn't turn 19 until 2003. And if you know me, I like drafting really young players because the younger the player, the higher the upside he is. So yeah, that's my first like scouting video on Dominic Barlow. So just let me know what you think in the comment sections, and also what you think about this video. But should the Clippers draft Dominic Barlow? Do you think is it worth it to trade Marcus Morris for a Dominic Barlow um or trading Amir Coffey Dominic Barlow? Because I'd be more than happy to have this guy wearing a Clipper uniform. So last but not least, this is Clip Ganger Don't Bang video about Yannick Nzosa. Yannick Nzosa, he's a must grab for the Clippers. So because he'd be perfect for our big man. It's like all these Clippers fans want to say Rudy Gobert and all that. Like I ain't faulting them. That's cool. They can have their own opinions, but Nzosa would be that perfect guy for the Clippers. And without giving up our depth, we could just essentially get Nzosa with our own pick without giving up nothing. And Nzosa could provide us all the things that Gobert could provide us in his defense, athleticism, rebounding, and all that. Plus, he's a good PNR like defender player. So shout out Clip Ganger Don't Bang. So because he did a whole entire thorough scouting report, and I might try to do my own version of it if I can, but yeah. But if you want to know more information of Yannick Nzosa, check this guy out. Check Clip Ganger Don't Bang out. But anyways, have a great night, y'all, and nothing but love. So peace.